10 Minutes with Wild Wayne Cartwright. And today I'm going to talk about the HBCU teams that are in the NCAA tournament. Now, we know the brackets came out yesterday. There's been so many comments that have been made about it. There's been half and half, some negative, some good, some encouraging. We know that a lot of people, they don't like the fact that certain teams were placed where they were. Certain teams are going to play in places that, that they didn't want to see their teams playing in. And then you got a lot of people who are just happy that their team is in it, which is really the overall focus of what we should be looking at. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try and shade anybody. I'm not going to make fun of anybody because that's not what I do. But what I am going to do is I'm going to do what I always do, which is give you the truth. All right? Now, we talk about Jackson State's women, and they've got a tremendous opportunity before them on Saturday. Now, yeah, I know that people wanted them to play LSU because when they played LSU 2 years ago, it was a phenomenal game in the first round down there in Baton Rouge. I know for a lot of Jackson residents or people who live in the state of Mississippi, or even people that didn't even go to Jackson State. Maybe you live in Louisiana. People wanted to go see this game, wanted to see them get another chance against LSU, and I understand that. And while that didn't happen, one thing you should embrace the fact that you're playing on national television on ABC at 1 p.m. on Saturday against a legendary program like the UConn Huskies, right? Now, the thing that I want to just say is I want to commend Tamika Reed for what she's done. Now, I don't know if she's going to be there next year or not, but if this is the last time that she's going to be roaming those sidelines for Jackson State, I do have to say that she's been a great one. And, whether you're a fan of them or not, you have to respect the work that they've done. Now, they've won 21 consecutive games, and they went through the entire SWAC schedule undefeated. Any team that can go through an entire conference schedule and win a conference championship undefeated, that means everything, whether you're a fan or not. Now, one thing about them getting ready to play, they're going to go play in a legendary place like this, Gamble Pavilion, Storrs, Connecticut. It's going to probably be sold out like this. And they get to tangle with, Paige Beckers on the left, who was the National Player of the Year 2 years ago. And then you got Aaliyah Edwards on the right, a double-double machine from Canada. These are some great players that they get a chance to play up against. Now, yeah, a lot has been said about, UConn, they only have 8 scholarship players available. But, when you're playing against this man, it really doesn't matter because this guy has been there 39 years, 11 national titles, been through it all. Nothing is going to faze this guy. So when you're playing, you just remember that you're playing in the places where some of these legends like Sue Bird and Swin Cash and Rebecca Lobo and Diana Taurasi and many others. A lot of your players at Jackson State, you would have loved to have been recruited by this guy or been able to have a chance to play in a place like this. But now you do. And one thing you can say is when it's all said and done, is that you can say that you got a chance to play UConn in Connecticut on national television. So embrace the opportunity. And whether they win or lose, to me, do I believe they're going to win? I don't. But that's not the point. The point is that you get a chance to show who Jackson State is. You get to show what the SWAC is. You get to show what HBCU is about when you have a chance to make a statement. Now, if they did pull off a win in a place like this, we would send shockwaves everywhere. One can only dream, but that's why you play the game. And then also, you've got Norfolk State. Shout out to them. Shout out to them for being a 15 seed, winning the MEAC, right? And they get a chance to go play Stanford. And they get their chance to play on Friday night. And they're going to a place that's really awesome, like Maples Pavilion. And they're going to play against Tara Vanderveer, who's the all-time wins leader in college basketball coaching, women or men. That's something that has to be commendable. Again, just like the Jackson State women, you got an opportunity to go play someplace where you probably had dreamed about being recruited or dreamed about playing. Now you have the opportunity to do that. A story that can be told that lasts lifetimes. And then we get into the men. Now I know people have said, well, why are men playing in the play-in round, or as it's appropriately mentioned, the first four? And the first four, as it is in Dayton, you get to play in front of a sold-out crowd in a select window. There's only 2 games that take place on Tuesday and Wednesday night. And both of our HBCU teams, our MEAC champion and our SWAC champion, are going to take place in both of them. Now, I know people have said, well, why is it that they're seeded 16th? I'll just be very frank and just tell you that if you watched any of my previous videos, I talked to you about something called net ranking. Now, for the sake of time, net ranking, I'm just telling you that the overall strength of the SWAC and also the MEAC was near the bottom in America. There are 362 Division I men's programs. Many of the SWAC and MEAC participants had their net ranking in the 300s. And when you have your net ranking that low, this is why you're going to be seeded this low. Now, being seeded this low gives them an opportunity to match up if you're Grambling, and shout out to Grambling for having their first ever appearance in the NCAA tournament. You get to go up against the Big Sky champion, Montana State. Montana State was a surprise winner in the Big Sky, and they're just as happy to be there. But this is an opportunity to show what you can do, Grambling, and take on a team and hopefully get a win, and you get a chance to go in a regular draw and face North Carolina. Embrace the opportunity. And then also in the case of Howard's making 2 consecutive trips to the NCAA tournament after it took them 31 years to get there from last year. You know, they're going to take on Wagner. Wagner, they're the NEC champ, Northeast Conference. Northeast Conference is every year in schedule strength or in overall strength is near the bottom, just like the SWAC and the MEAC. And Wagner was the 6th seeded team from the Northeast Conference, winning their conference tournament. And so Howard gets a chance to take on Wagner, and Grambling gets a chance to take on Montana State. These are some opportunities that are before you. And before you start saying, why are we seated so low? How come we can't get more respect? First off, Jackson State is a 14 seed. In most years, you would love that. Norfolk State women, 15 seed. Most years you would love that. The bottom line is you have an opportunity to go some places that you weren't always guaranteed to go. Now, people say, well, they're going to get smashed, they're going to get blown out, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. If that's your opinion, you got it. Have it. But I just want to just make it plain is that before anybody does any complaining about the system and the structure, we all know that our teams play a lot of non-conference games against Power 5 opponents, or even some of these, as they say, mid-major classification teams. And you have some opportunities to get better as programs. You have an opportunity to get better with recruiting. Yeah, I know finances can be an issue at a lot of our institutions, but these are opportunities that are out here for us to learn. So when you're going as a Jackson State to play a UConn, this is a place where you can see the facilities. You can see the passion of the fans. You can see the coaching staffs on the other side. These are things to shoot for. When you're going to Maples Pavilion in Stanford, you see Tara Vanderveer, the passion. You see the tradition. You see all this stuff that's been built. These are things that we have to take as opportunities to learn and strive and see how we can grow and move forward. I'm rooting for all 4 teams. I'd love to see all 4 win. All 4 will not. I can just simply say that right now. All 4 won't win. But at the end of the day, let's just hope our student athletes have a great time and do something special. I'm Wild Wayne Cartwright. That's my 10 minutes. I'll see you next time.